Welcome to another episode of DIOTALK. I'm Leo. Let's talk. My guest of the evening is a media critic. You may know him for his reviews on Instagram regarding anime and movies and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mr. Rogers.
Appreciate that, man.
What's going on, man? How you been? Happy birthday! I know you've been celebrating.
Mm-hmm. I've been good, man.
That's what's up. You know, I've been watching some of your content, which is
Mm-hmm.
dope. You have some dope stuff out there. Um, what inspired you? What inspired you to start creating content? And because you're basically informing the public on the latest new anime and more.
Um, I've always been the type of person that like to share my opinions on, pop culture and stuff like that, with my friends and family and everything. And when I'm at work, I'm talking about, oh, y'all seen this show, you seen this anime, da da da. And a lot of people were only talking about like the mainstream stuff, like
Yeah,
whatever was hot at whatever the flavor of the month. I'd be Dragon Ball Z, Game of Thrones, or whatever. That's the only thing they're talking about. And I'm like, there's so much other stuff out there that I was like, look, people are not gonna look at it if nobody's talking about it. So I decided to just start saying, hey, what about these? When it came to, because I started my channel on TikTok.
mm,
Um,
got it.
and yeah, Instagram was not moving for me at all. I
No,
tried
hey man,
Instagram.
I feel you on that because with me, I went like 3 months ago. I think it was. I
Mhm.
went viral, like
Yeah,
trending worldwide. I got up to like 10K.
yeah,
But then I'm not really much into like social media. I use it to promote my stuff. I
right.
schedule things out and I just let it be. So followers started going down, but it's
Mhm.
tough. It's tough. So I get
Yeah,
it. I get it.
yeah. So, well, to be totally transparent, nothing was moving for me. Like I was doing regular reviews and everything, but then when I started doing honest opinions on random things, it blew up. So that was my inspiration for it. Though, like just to say, hey, what about these movies? What about these animes? Like, yeah, we can talk about the big three all day. We can talk about nobody really talks about Bleach, even though that's one of my favorite animes of all
Bleach.
time. Yeah, Bleach was my second favorite. Um, but nobody really talks about it. They talk about Naruto and One Piece. That's what you would get out of people.
Yeah.
And then with the new school, you'll talk about My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, uh, what's the other one? Demon Slayer is a big one. So I'm like, yo, there's other anime out there. And then if you try to say something about it, you get kind of like shunned a little bit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
they're trash,
Yeah.
compared with. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna say what I feel about every anime that can come to the top of my head that I've seen before, give my honest opinion, and I don't care what the repercussions are or whatever the
Yeah.
case may
Yeah.
be.
Fuck it. Fuck
And
it.
it
Yeah.
just like I say what I said and I mean what I say. You know what I mean? So uh, um, that was the inspiration behind it, and it just took off. It started with actors. It didn't even start with anime. It started with actors. I was talking about actors on TikTok, and that blew up. That blew up, and I was just like, all right, bet. And then as I was going, I was like, look, I love anime. I'm gonna start talking about anime. So when I did anime, and I just on a whim, because I posted the actor stuff on Instagram, didn't really do anything. On a whim, I put it on IG, and that blew up on IG. Like I don't think it was the honest opinion. It was what your favorite anime character says about you
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for Bleach, and it just blew up. Like nobody talked about Bleach like that. Oh my god! And I was just like, all right, bet. So Instagram was anime. Instagram was anime. Facebook is anime. TikTok is a mixed bag of everything.
Yeah. I remember the first time I was just scrolling because I got into I purchased Crunchyroll. All right, because I
Okay.
wanted
Yeah. Yeah.
the reason I purchased Crunchyroll is because I'm a big fan of Slam Dunk.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay. Okay.
since I was a kid, and
Right.
everywhere I looked, they had like 2 or 3 episodes, but they didn't have the full season. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I said I'm just gonna purchase Crunchyroll, but then when I got Crunchyroll, it's only in Japanese. So
I got you.
and then me looking because I like to look at anime art.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
I stumbled upon your page and I saw you talking about I think it was Bakihana.
Yeah, Baki. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I immediately started going through your content. I hit follow, and right there, then I send you an email. That's how
That's what's up,
fast.
man.
That's
Yeah,
how
that's what's up.
because you know what me is I need to hear that feedback from because these are like you said earlier, like nobody really talk about these shows sometimes.
Hmm.
So like
Hmm.
I need that feedback in to say, okay, this is for me,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that raw, unfiltered, uh, just a quick like, hey, this right here is just trash.
Yeah,
I can't
yes,
get into
yes.
it. I tried myself. Now my thing is not my cup of tea. You know, like
Mm.
I that just protect people from their feelings a little bit.
Hmm,
Just
hmm.
be like, cause matter of fact, I just got cursed out on Facebook.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I just got cursed out on Facebook. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. Because the new anime of this season of MF Ghost is a
Mm.
continuation of a very widely popular racing anime. You never know it, but trust me, when you throw a rock out there, somebody gonna start hollering. But
Mm.
I said, look, this is not my this the animation is ugly, and I'm not even big. I'm not that big into racing. You know, the most racing I ever did was like Midnight Club. You know, on the
Same
on the
here.
game.
Same
Yeah.
here.
So I got like this one dude, all caps. Are you fucking serious? Are you how you call yourself an anime reviewer if you never watched Initial D? What the fuck? And I was just like, bro, you know how much anime is out there?
Yeah.
But every Initial D is probably like 50 clones of Initial D. It's probably like a whole subgenre of this shit. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So you gotta take that. You gotta take that. You gotta be ready for that type of embrace anyway. When you're talking down about something or even talking good about something, because if you give an anime too much praise, you have the people that don't like the anime
Hmm.
hating you for liking it.
Yeah.
Like go in there and say, yeah, Demon Slayer is like it was a real good anime. What? The story is trash. That story is trash. It's only getting held by its animation. And I was like, I like the fight scenes. What else more can you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you gotta take the good and the bad with everything. The more exposure you get, the more the more exposure you get, the more clicks, the more likes, the more shares. It's gonna blossom into something that's uncontrollable at times, and you put too much can't put too much energy into what
Mm.
people say about you or think about your opinions and stuff like that. I mean, that's the whole reason I started the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just give my unbiased opinion. Not that I think it was gonna blow up so fast. No, not at all. So,
No,
but
you
yeah,
can't, like I tell everyone, you can't read the comments. You can't feed into that. You gotta
that's what I was
stick
looking at.
stick
Yeah.
you gotta stick to what inspired you to do it. And sometimes that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna come with people that likes it and may not like it, but that's life.
Exactly. Exactly. You can't go around expecting everybody gonna like your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if you if all the great cooks in the world focused on critics, they would not be successful at all because what you're gonna do is if one critic says, "Oh, it was too spicy," you're gonna stop putting too much
Hmm,
spice in it, and then
hmm.
another critic gonna say, "Oh my god, it had no type of spice in it at all," and then now you're like, "Okay, what's the balance?" And then you're trying to make these two happy. The person in between who loved it already was gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
So you can't keep changing your recipe. You got to stick to your recipe, and who's gonna like it? They're gonna like it. If people don't like it, it's okay. You don't worry about them.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
get called. I suck a lot. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna stop because that one person said I suck, or
Yeah.
even 10,000 of people, scroll right past my video.
Listen,
It's
man,
all good.
I got suspended twice on YouTube.
Mm,
I got a much bigger following on my YouTube channel
right.
twice, which has impaired me from making money on YouTube,
Oh,
right?
no.
But it's
Yeah.
because I talk about certain things and I give my certain opinions and where it's
Hmm.
challenging. It's
Yeah.
challenging, but
Yeah.
you're gonna get that. That means if you're able, if you get feedback like that, that means you're moving the needle.
Facts. Facts. If you're getting people saying, "Oh, you suck," like, hey, you already watched it. that means you saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
everybody else is seeing it. So
yeah.
hey, appreciate you.
I mean, my whole thing is I speak to all forms of an entrepreneur. My thing
Okay.
is to support them to get to that next level. Right
Right.
now, I'm creating. It's like if you want to go as far as say a documentary series, and where this is where each person starts and where they're at that moment in time, and how is they're
Mhm.
starting, so people can hear their story and may resemble what they're going through, and hopes to better them.
Yeah.
Now,
And that's dope. That's
yeah,
that's that's definitely dope because that's what a lot of people need to see.
yeah,
Because I don't think a lot of people know where like Mr. Beast started at. And a lot of people don't know
yes,
where PewDiePie started at. A lot of people don't know where RDC and them boys started at. I know where RDC started because I watched them for a while. I fuck with RDC. Like I don't know them personally,
yeah,
but they younger than me and I look up to them because they're doing everything that they're doing is something that I sports, anime, movies, comic books, whatever. That's all I'm into. And then when they started doing it, especially at such a young age, it was like our generation growing up watching anime, that was like a taboo.
yeah,
Like
man,
you go to school and you start doing a Naruto run, you're gonna get made fun of, you're gonna get shoved in the locker, you're gonna get pushed down, whatever. That's
yeah,
like we had our own little lunch table and we talked about our stuff, but outside that lunch table, we had to fit the narrative of what our school was.
yes, yes,
You know what I mean? I'm from a small town, Darlington, South Carolina. So it was like we was country bumpkins. We played sports, and we talked about who was it was Kobe, Kobe Allen Iverson, KG. We that was it. You know what I'm saying? Randy
yeah,
Moss, Dr. Cole Pepper. That's what we talked about. Sports. We started talking about anime. We had a small circle, even though we probably had some people that was like secretly doing it, but they
hmm,
was scared to say it. Unlike now,
it's out
sports is
there.
still getting taught, but it's like now it's like, what if Gone was on the Kansas City Chiefs? That's the type of conversation now. Like
Hmm,
you
hmm.
bring in anime characters and putting them in a sports situation and seeing what happened. That's that blows my mind. I'm not gonna lie to you. That blows my mind. I'm sitting here talking to a 13-year-old about legacy characters.
No, and I get that because I grew up in Puerto Rico with my grandparents, and I used to go take rides with my grandmother to like the pharmacy, and
Mm-hmm.
in the pharmacy they had like the magazine section, and I will
Yeah.
go and I will search and search and search until I find the comic book.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
like growing up, like TV over there was very, there was no such things as comic book. You
Got
know,
you.
you had to
Yeah.
watch, like I know about like Slam Dunk, Samurai X, what is these called? The Saints, Horoscope Saints or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think it was probably like I think they go by two different names. It's the Ronin Warriors or whatever,
Uh-huh.
the Knights or whatever.
Yeah, the Knights of Saints or
Yeah.
something. That,
Yeah. Yeah.
like try watching that show and with a Dominican accent in Spanish. It's crazy. You know, it's crazy. It's funny. So like
Yeah.
I wasn't able to get that I wasn't able to get that like how do you what is that word? Like I was hungry for it. I was hungry for
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. You wasn't fed it like we get out the bus and we catching tsunami. You wasn't catching tsunami.
Nah, man. And
Yeah.
nobody, it was a small barrio, it's very very southern, you know.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I was every time I moved, like every summer I came here to the States, that was the first thing I was looking for.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Justice League, DC.
Ooh, yeah. We had a Justice League thing going down pack too, like simultaneously. Comic books and anime was like running simultaneously, whatever. Because you had the Teen Titans going off. I want to say like around about like 2006, 2005 area. What that time? I was in high school here, and now that you see like Teen Titans Go, and it's like, yo, what the fuck? But I ain't gonna lie, Teen Titans Go slap when I'm watching it with my kids. It
Yeah, it's
does slap when I'm
dope.
watching my kids now. But it's like, damn, what could have been? Because I think it would have hit different for a lot of people if they actually finished the show. If
Yes.
Teen Titans had a conclusive ending and it wrapped up or whatever the case may be, even Young Justice, Teen Titans Go probably wasn't a sting for a lot of people like how it does.
Yes, yes. But you know what? That's Warner Brothers. They always mess shit up. It's
I
like
just saw a tweet about Warner Brothers that
it's
pissed me off.
like it's like that documentary with Kevin Smith, Superman Lives,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
what
haven't watched that one yet, but I'm gonna watch it.
man,
Yeah.
everything they did for that movie, it became Will Smith's Wild Wild West.
Mm,
The main the
that's
main villain
terrible.
was gonna be Brainiac.
Okay.
And
Like they need to bring him out. Yeah.
everything they did, they created, they just threw it on
Threw it
that
out the
it
window.
became Wild Wild West, literally.
This like I said, a tweet, whatever. They somebody brought up the idea. This was just recently. They brought up the idea of doing a animated film of DC versus Mortal Kombat, like the game, you know.
Mm.
And one of us said, "Nah, we're not doing that." And I'm like, "Why not? You own both titles. You don't have to. You don't have to go to nobody and say, "Hey, we need to borrow these characters or whatever." You own. You have Mortal Kombat. You have DC. Just you already got a Mortal Kombat movie, two of them.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Get your voice actors and go with it. You know, you got this whole thing going on with the actors, SAG strike and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
As far as I can tell, not too many voice actors is part of that for a certain extent, but you can still get something going. You know, your
I mean,
writers
they
back, get
already
them.
did it. They already have the game, DC
Yeah, I think
versus.
that's probably why they hesitate because the game was kind of
I don't know. I think
panned
it
a
was
little
kind.
bit, but
I think it was kind of good. I think it's just sometimes it becomes difficult to tell a story,
yeah, yeah,
and that became Injustice. That's literally what it
yeah,
became.
yeah.
It's sometimes difficult to tell a story, but I thought it was dope. I thought it was the different. Like it's like a real version of like Marvel versus Capcom or Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
like they recently released in comics Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter. That shit was dope when I read
Mm,
it. You know,
mm.
I
That's
mean, but
cool. I gotta read it.
yeah, man. But that's Warner Brother is a disappointment, and I'm a DC fan. I'm a DC fan. Like I saw,
So,
like I remember I saw the End Game right
okay.
for the first
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and I think I this is where like I started on Twitter. I don't really use it, but like I did I tweeted something out like how disappointed I was in DC because they
Because of
they yeah.
and the thing about DC is I like DC too. And what Marvel did with the MCU was bring in a bunch of, people that say they're, not household names in Iron Man and Thor and Loki and stuff like that. But people knew who Thor was. People knew who Iron
Yeah.
Man was. But it wasn't like on a grand scale of Spider-Man and
Hmm.
Fantastic Four,
Right.
Wolverine at that time. But they didn't have any really dang live action at that scale. So for what Marvel did of building, taking their time, building these characters up, having their movies, DC rushed it. They just rushed it. It just was they could have just went ahead and just kept of course we got Nolan Batman. Okay, cool. Nolan Batman's over with. Let's roll out Ben Affleck, give him his own movie. Let's roll out Henry Cavill and give him his own movie, which they did. But it was like, no, no, no. We don't need to give Batman another movie because he already had these three movies. Let's just throw him in there with the Batman versus Superman title already. And it was like, that would have been a good idea if it would have been executed better. And
Yeah.
like I said, they would took his time a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
If it
it's
would
like,
have
why
been,
do
it would have been like Man of Steel 2.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Something, yeah, you could have introduced Bruce Wayne in Men of Steel 2 and then give him a better reason to be like, you know what? I don't think I trust Superman like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something happened at the end of it, whatever. But like you said, it's hard to write a story sometimes. But I just feel like they could have wrote that story if the execs didn't just see the dollar signs that Marvel was making. If they didn't have that comparison, they would have took their time. Because let's face it, they was gonna get the comparison regardless. They should have just took their time with it.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
yeah.
when it comes to the shows, TV shows from DC, they're better
Mm-hmm.
because they're developed by fans.
Yes.
And this is
Yeah.
where Marvel where it became successful is because everyone who partook in it, they were fans of the content. It
Yeah.
wasn't about money. Like when Iron
Mm-hmm.
Man came out, it was battling Batman, The Dark Knight, with the
Mm-hmm.
Joker. So they thought it was a flop, but you got to continue with that, and
Mm-hmm. And people end up loving Iron Man. Like that's one of the best MCU movies out there. That was the first one. Then you have like Hulk, and which I say is underrated. Hulk should have got another one, but
which
that
one?
just brings me back to like Edward Norton Hulk. Uh,
Yes.
not the I forgot what the old dude name, but not the one with the dogs and everything. That
Yeah.
was
Gumby, giant Gumby.
yeah, like big ass poodle and a dog
Yeah.
Doberman. It was so fucking stupid. But that's why I bring it back when I went to live adaptations. I just saw, you know who King Vader is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, King Vader did his adaptation of Jujutsu Kaisen or whatever, and it's dope. It's low budget, whatever. It's fan made, and it looks way better than a lot of live action adaptations of anime. And I'm just like, look, if you get a fan, somebody who actually care about the source material, it doesn't really matter what type of budget you give them. They're gonna give you something dope because they have a vision. Well, a fan that with a writer fan with a
Yeah.
vision, of course, but they know how to execute their vision. They know how things are gonna supposed to look even if it doesn't look exactly like it, you get the idea of where they're coming from. And now imagine giving them that bigger budget. So it's like if I see One Piece live action, was cool. I'm not a huge One Piece fan. I'm still getting through it. Like
I haven't tried it. I haven't tried it because that fifth gear type of shit.
yeah.
It reminds me so much of a ripoff of like Dragon Ball Z.
Mm.
I can't fathom it right now. Maybe in the
And I was
future.
like, yeah, and it was so many people saying, "Oh my God, you got to catch up," because this was like around about I would say this was around about July ish. They was like, you got to watch it. Gear 5 is coming. It's gonna break the internet. It's gonna be so amazing. And I really be like, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna start watching it. And the more I was watching it, the more it felt like a job. They was like,
Mm.
okay, I gotta watch One Piece again. I gotta watch the next episode, and I was like, I'm not really enjoying the watch. It's cool. I understand why a lot of people latch to it and gravitate to it, but I really feel like it's just one of those things where once I stopped watching it, it was kind of like outside of the mind. And they're
Mm.
like, no, you just got to keep going. I'm like, bro, if I got to go through 400 episodes for it
Jeez.
to get good, I'm going to take a shot on that one. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like,
That was me. Like I'm a big fan of Naruto. My favorite character is Kurama. Fuck everybody
yeah,
else. Kurama is my favorite
yeah,
character.
yeah.
And
Talk
the
shit.
the best thing is they have a great storyline and story arc. So when you had those episodes that were like filler, which that's
Yeah,
what kills the momentum.
yeah.
You will see me like fast forward that motherfucker. Fast forward it. Like I
Oh
want to
yeah.
get to that storyline. That
Oh
shit
my
what
god.
had me that's what had me in tune with the show.
Yeah, One Piece has a lot of fillers. Bleach is notorious for fillers because for some reason they had to go ahead and animate the manga as soon as it was released. I don't know why. They just they did not want to wait till it build. I guess because they was keeping up with Naruto and One Piece at the same time, whatever. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But they have one of the best filler arcs I've ever seen in any type of show that has filler, and it's the Zanpakuto Rebellion.
Mm.
That shit is so good. Like it was just such a detailed story of the Zanpakuto's rebellion against their masters, and a lot of side characters got to shine in it. And it was just a good fucking watch to the point where you forgot that he was even filler. You were like, oh shit, it don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
nothing to do with the what's going on with the run cars and everything. But you were like, yo, this is pretty goddamn good. But then they throw in one where Ichigo is a zombie and or he is a fairy type shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
I get
Like
that. I
what the
feel
fuck?
that.
Like what is that? But yeah, so and that's why a lot of people shit on Bleach because they feel like, oh, they couldn't really get into the story because of one. I ain't gonna lie, Bleach probably has one of the worst arcs in anime history in the bout arc. Right
Mhm.
after one of the, so it has one of the best arcs in anime history. Then immediately have a shitty arc, and then that's what
Yeah.
throw a lot of people off. Like the first arc is okay of him getting his powers and everything, and then you go into Gotai 13, and that just damn near to go get Rukia. You meet all the captains, you get more involved in the world of Soul Society and stuff like that. It's really good shit. You meet Kenpachi, one of the most badass characters of all time. And it's like, okay, this shit good as hell. Then you find out Ichigo has dark side and all kind of shit. I'm like, cool, bet. And then the next arc is just like, this shit is boring as hell. Like, what happened to the height
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
why are we talking about these fucking geek guys and these people who feel like they've been left off from soul society? I don't give a fuck about them. And then you go into the Vizards, whatever, people who used to be captains. And you're like, okay, you're bringing me back a little bit. And then the Spada shows up, and that damn Spanish guitar start playing when they come, and they pretty much are Soul Reapers, but they're hollows as Soul Reapers, and it's cool as shit. And you find out they got a ranking base, like, oh yeah, I'm just a run card or a Spada number 7, but he's still fucking shit up and everything, and it's they just as powerful as captains. And then it's just dope as hell. It's just dope as hell. You find, I mean, Aizen comes back, which is probably one of the best villains in anime. Well, he's up there. He's up there in that GOAT talk of best villains in anime. It's just really fucking good. And a lot of people just that third fucking arc just derails so many people. They do not want to push past it. And then the next arc is okay. So it's like, I'm not watching it no more. It's 300 some episodes. I got past 200, like 140. I want to say it's around the belt arc. I'm done. That's how most people think. And they say it's ass. Ichigo's don't really have good characters. And now they had this whole thing about him being a part of every race in. It's a lot. Bleach get a lot of hate.
Yeah. What
Understandable though.
What was the first thing you saw or manga you read that you made you like automatically fall in love with anime?
Fall in love with anime. So the first one that I didn't even really know that it was anime was just you remember when oh, you probably not, but if you ever know, Stars when it wasn't Spectrum then, when Time Warner Cable had a whole package, and Stars each network had like 6 different channels. Stars had this one where it was like Encore or Mystery or whatever. Stars Action, that was what Stars Action. They used to play anime on that shit, and it was this one anime called Shadow Skill. Didn't know it was an anime. It was cartoons. I was a kid. It was so fucking cool. It was so cool. It was about these two, Ellie and her her adopted brother, Gal. They'll have this whole little ritual when they say their bodies will get tight, their muscles get all ripped, and they get strong as hell, start kicking shit because their fighting style is called the Shadow Skill. And they had this one dude they used to go fight like beasts. Like this one time they fought I want to say it was like a griffin. It has like a tiger head with a regular body and shit like that. And they fought that shit. It was cool as hell. It was just a cool, dope ass cartoon. Didn't know it was anime at the time. That shit made me fall in love with the style of animation. Because before that, I was watching stuff like Eddie and Eddie. Well, it wasn't Eddie and Eddie, but it was a cartoon like Lunatics. Tom and Jerry type
Cartoon
shit.
Network. Cartoon Network.
Yeah, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. Very lighthearted shit. They didn't really care nothing about it. But when you see blood in animation and people kicking ass and they cursing and everything, I'm just like, do I supposed to be watching this? I'm gonna watch it anyway, you know. So that would make me like the style. But Dragon Ball Z is what made me like, yo, this is it. Like, this is the greatest shit ever. This motherfucker throwing these big ass energy beams at each other. They're disappearing on the screen. My man screaming, rocks and shit levitating over his head. Don't know what's going
what's
on.
Crazy about it is it's not really any story. It's a build up, and we're like, somebody's coming to take shit up, or we gonna fuck them up. You know, like, so
who's the next big bad?
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting. Like, I recently, literally weeks ago, I read my first manga. It was called The Wolf Never Sleeps.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah,
I'm not that deep into manga. I'm trying to, but I'm
it was the first time, actually the first book I ever bought. Never read a manga in my life. I was lost because it's not
trying to read it. We're trying to read it one way
because it's not like a regular comic.
Yeah,
you got that shit's backwards, and you got to start from this way. So
he was like, "I'm at the end of it already." Oh, that's interesting.
The book was all right. it was it's kind of reminds me of like The Witcher in a sense,
Okay,
but
okay.
it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Real quick, my wife just got me that shirt.
Yeah,
The
this one.
big foot. Yeah.
Special shout out to Walmart for getting my gear, yo. You know,
Hey, that's what's up.
$7 a hat, you know.
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, I will stay at Walmart and give me some good graphic tees. I used to
Word.
go to Hot Topic, but Hot Topic be taxing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
man. Yeah.
$20. What is it, like $40 for two, buy two, get one free? I'm like, buy two, get one free? And they not half off. They like, you gotta
No,
buy two to get that first one free.
no, man. I like that sales, you know, especially when you're married and you got kids. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
that's the sales like getting the best action you're gonna get in your life.
Ooh, yeah. Look, this time I got old, man. I started getting excited for like coupons and
Right? Oh
deals and
man,
stuff. I was like, oh shit, we
I
could get
feel
this
you.
for
I feel you, man.
eight,
That's
65% off. Shit.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the first manga that I ever bought was Chainsaw Man.
You know, I've been meaning to watch that show. They got I
Mhm.
think season two. It's out
They
or it's
only got
coming
one
out.
season. They only got one season, but it has the season two hasn't been confirmed. But yeah, season two hasn't been confirmed yet. There's rumors of a season two and a movie. But I'm just waiting for that announcement so I can be like, yeah, fuck yeah, because I love it, man. A lot of people didn't really take the season one because it's they did 12 episodes,
Yeah.
very short, couldn't really get into uh the story I want to, but trust me, that next arc is gonna be really good. I hope what they do is the movie is be the Bomb Girl arc, which is very short, simple stuff, But the arc after that is when they really get deeper into the story. So, but it is what it is. It was very hyped. I think that was probably the issue. People hyped the fuck out of it. Which
Yeah.
the animation Mappa did a great job. Shout out to Mappa. I hope they pay their animators. Well, get more animators. It's not because they work no motherfuckers to death. But
Mm.
they did a beautiful job with the animation and everything. And by the time it gets really to the point where it's like, oh shit, this it can be something. It's over with. So I wouldn't suggest them cut a lot of the story to get to that point because it's necessary, but it's okay. They did a good job.
Yeah. That's how I felt with when I watched Baki Hana. It
Uh,
left me wanting more.
yeah,
It left me wanting
yeah.
more. Like I've seen it. Like I started to watch it a while back, but I never got into it until I saw your post. And then
Mhm.
I saw Baki Hana first, and then I went back to Baki. Man,
Yeah.
oh man.
I like in the beginning of the block, and they're just talking about him, and then they show him with a cast on his arm, and he got the dudes in front of him, and they was like, "Yeah, we don't want to fuck with him."
Yeah. That last fight of that season where when he fights Ali Muhammad Ali Jr.
Yeah, they went back and forth. They went back and forth.
Yeah.
Did you check out King and Ashore? Yeah,
Not yet.
King and Ashore. It's a different animation style, but unlike like Baki, how they do it like a quick boom, 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 boom,
Hmm.
and they explain what just happened. Kagan is like they just going back and forth.
You
The
know,
animation style works
I did
straight up.
start watching it. It's very gore, a lot of blood.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like it's a different, it's like same but almost different
Hmm.
animation process. I thought I
Yeah.
honestly when I first saw it, I thought it was like another series connected to Bakihana because the main
Okay.
character looks like him a lot.
Yeah. Now Oma, yeah, I got the hair, the look and everything. They just have like different set of powers, I would say.
Hmm.
And I think he got Baki by like a foot. Like Oma is pretty tall, even though he's like shorter than a lot of the people in Kagan. I
Hmm.
think he's like 6'5" or 6'3" or something like that.
Hmm.
And Baki is, I want to say, like 5'10" or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. But Baki, a lot, I don't know. I think Baki probably still can get him. I like Oma a lot, but I think Baki will get him.
You know what I liked about Baki, man, is that it's not dramatic. You know, like in anime, everything is so dramatic. I
Yeah.
didn't find that in Baki at all. Like
It's
it.
it's ridiculous, but it's not like,
Hmm.
oh my God. And he like a whole bunch of different type of face and the nosebleeds when the girl bend over or something. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it don't have none of that. You're right about
There's
that.
like and what's it Kingman, the one you were saying? The
Yeah.
old man who follows who's supposed to help the main character around. Like
Hmm.
he's over dramatic. He's
Yeah.
over he's over dramatic.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
man. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's a hell of a good dub too. I think Netflix has probably like some of the best dub acting because
Mm,
how they do their animes is they do the dub and the sub at the same time if it's
mm.
theirs or whatever instead of like grabbing it from somebody. So they got some good animators. The only well dub I mean the only one I didn't like was I want to say is Demon Slayer's not theirs, so that makes sense. But that's about it. That's about it. Because I was gonna say Demon Slayer, but it's not theirs.
Yeah.
You know, Demon Slayer is not a Netflix original. They just have it. The first
But
couple
but
seasons.
but even when Baki, when you're reading the subtitles, it doesn't match what they're saying.
No, no. They definitely add on to some shit, or
Yeah.
add on, or don't say what they supposed to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the most egregious one I ever seen was I was like, I'm watching something on High Dive, and High Dive had their own subtitles, and I was like, this is not what they're saying. High Dive, but High Dive is cool though. That's a good app. It was just that one old anime that they had. The sub was just not matching what they was actually saying in dub. So I had to turn the subtitles off.
Yeah, man. I get it. I get it. What's your top five anime?
Top five anime. I just did that on my live. So at five, I got Gundam Wing, but I could also change that out with like Helsing.
Yeah.
Gundam Wing. Four, I got what was four? So one, I gotta go back because I gotta go back up. One is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Mm,
Two is Bleach. Three is Yu Yu Hakusho. Four was Naruto. I just remember four was Naruto. And five was like I said, five is a pretty much a coin toss between Gundam Wing and Helsing. I really like Helsing. Helsing is fucking fire. Uh, those are my top five that I would go back and just watch over and over again. I like the story. I like the characters. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is just amazing to me. Like I love that story so much. I love the relationship between the brothers. It's really no, I mean, it's some over dramatic stuff in there, of
mm,
course, but just the seriousness of the villain and how they was, talk about some very things. People lose their lives. Nobody come back. Nobody comes back in that universe. You died. You're gone. You know what I
yeah, you
mean?
dead.
Yeah, you dead. You're dead. There's no big there's twists and turns, conspiracies, the government, all that stuff. Everything you really pretty much want. Good fight scenes. Pretty much everything you want is in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Got it.
Comedy, not too much gore, unless you want to count not less, gluttony. That's gore enough. they're seven deadly sins or whatever, homunculus, if you've never seen it. But yeah. And it's pretty short too. It's like 65 episodes,
Oh,
65
nice.
episodes. So you get because what it was is you got Fullmetal Alchemist, which came out, I forgot what year it came out, but it came out before the manga was finished. So when it caught up to the manga, instead of doing fillers, they just went up their own. They went their own direction, made their
Mm-hmm.
own ending, and a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people was like, this ain't it." Me, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I wouldn't put that in minority in my like top 50 anime type shit. It's like, okay, I'll watch it just compared to Brotherhood. Brotherhood came out, the manga was finished, they repolished the paint of the anime. They skipped a few things in the first couple chapters because they knew a lot of people was coming back from the first anime. So they kind of like summed it all up in one episode,
Got it.
and then it just takes off. Follow the manga all the way through. They changed a few things, but they pretty much follow the manga all the way through. And it's just a beautiful fucking story, man. Beautiful high risk story.
Got it. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And your professional opinion as a critic and an investor, because you invested, your time and money
Mm-hmm.
in this. What do you think that why is anime so successful, but regular American shows like that are not? I mean, I have a theory, but I would love to hear
My
your.
my theory is there's a lot of because they pump out so much, right? It's every this season alone had over 80 titles came out,
Mm,
right, for fall. And then there's so many different subgenres of anime. You got the comedy, you got the slice of life, you got
yes,
the
yes.
drama, you got the raunchy shit, then you got the action, horror, fantasy, isekais, all that stuff. And then like within those subgenres, there's subgenres and stuff like that. So there's something for everybody. And then you have the ones that was already they're first of all, most of them are already popular because of manga. So if the manga is selling well, they feel like the anime is gonna do well as well. Like I want to say like Jujutsu Kaisen was like the number one selling manga before like a year before it got animated.
Mm,
And it was just like same thing with Chainsaw Man, same thing with Demon Slayer before it, same thing. So you already have your go-tos because of manga. And then here in America, it's catching on so fast because the people that grew up hiding from it are raising their kids on it.
mm,
And it's starting to be like a generational thing now where you have my toddler watch anime. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
he don't think it's anime. He just thinks it's a cartoon, but he's watching like Dino King, Pokemon. He was watching Sonic. He was watching what else he's watching? A Haunted House, the little anime called Haunted House on Netflix. He's watching all kinds. My daughter watched Glitter Force, which is a very girly anime. Teeny P, that's I think it's Korean, but still it's anime style. And it's growing and it's growing, so it's going to be very popular when it comes to Western shows. If it's not a comic book and people don't really have, if people don't really have an already set mindset for it, like let's say somebody come up with an original idea, like for example, the creator just came out. That's an original idea. It's sci-fi. Da, da, da. It did terrible in the box office. It is terrible. Like people are not going to go in and trust their money and their time into something that they don't think has already been proven to them.
yeah.
And another thing with anime is even though you have sites like Crunchyroll and High Dive, Hulu, and Netflix that we pay subscription for, it's so many pirated sites out there that you can just watch for free. It's so many. Every time you turn around, they change the name of it. They get a new domain. They get a new da da da. Same whole catalog of anime from the 70s that you can just go and watch for
Mm,
free. So it's like if I can watch it for free, of course it's gonna stay popular in my
yeah, yeah,
mind. So you have that here, but a lot of people are not gonna investigate. Like I said, they're not gonna invest their time in something that they don't nobody's talking about.
yeah,
There's no source material to go and see if it's good or not. And I just saw this with the writer strike. A lot of people have lost faith in our writers. A lot of people have lost faith in our writers. They like, yo, why do we care if they get more money? Like I'm advocating for the writers. I'm like, yo, y'all should support the writers, WGA, and the actors. Why should we care? And the last few things they've been put out in the past 10 years been shit. So if that's like even 30-40% of people thinking in America, it's gonna be a lot of shit that's gonna flop. It's gonna be a lot of
yeah,
stuff that's gonna flop if it's not
yeah.
already proven.
I think like for me, like it's like when I first started watching anime again was
Mm-hmm.
Naruto. That's what I stuck before I wanted to start watching anything else. I stuck with that,
Mm-hmm.
and I quickly learned and where what made me a fan of it at that time. I was doing jujitsu, so it was
Okay.
going hand in hand, and where I like the values, the sense of values, pride.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
samurai's pride, a shinobi's pride.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. My
and
ninja way.
you know,
Yeah.
and regular American shows, it doesn't have that. Like,
No.
and
Yeah.
then if it
You might get
does,
Cobra
like,
Kai.
well, I can't even mention Cobra Kai because Cobra Kai is just the same shit. It's fighting who's ever the best, but it's no honor or value.
Nah,
It's
it's not. It's
you know
not.
um like I look back in the day like Static Shock, the cartoon that had
Mhm.
amazing story arc,
Yeah,
canceled.
yeah.
Batman Beyond, one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest cartoons ever made. Batman the animated series, amazing stories gone,
Mm-hmm.
and they all had something.
Oh, the Batman anime series.
Yeah,
I fucking love it. I said DC hasn't made anything like to come close to Batman anime series in a
no,
while.
no,
But I agree with you 100% on that one because it's like it's more now, especially when it comes to teen dramas. Now it's more how much drugs and
oh
sex can we get into these high schoolers? I'm like, bro, why the fuck? Why
yeah,
don't you just make it college students? You know what I mean? Like that shit just weird to me. And they're like, that's how teenagers talk now. I'm like, what teenagers you been talking to like this? And
bro.
it may very well be,
I was
but
in Panera the other day, and there was these two high schoolers, two girls. They were talking about law
yeah,
and breaking
yeah.
down the jujitsu system. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. And it's the same shit with music.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're promoting. Like,
Yeah.
that's why there's not really
Oh my
good
God.
artists or writers because they're forcing to write the same shit.
Yeah. That's why I love J. Cole. I'm a J. Cole fan. That's my boy. That's my number one rapper right there. I would, and Kendrick is like Kendrick and Wale, and those like those are my people that I listen to on a regular basis. But I cannot get down with the new shit now. I just can't. And people be like, "Oh, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to that." I'm like, that's why I used to do music reviews on too. I used to try to
Mm.
do music reviews on top of everything else that I'm doing. And I was just talking on last night on live, like I got to slow down on adding so much shit to my plate. But yeah, with the music reviews, that was one thing that people was like, "Yo, you need to listen to who it was. You don't listen to NBA YoungBoy." I was like, "No, that's
I
not
don't.
my age bracket."
I don't know. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know what he's saying. And that's the problem because they'll sit there and say, "Oh, you're too old," and I'm like, maybe you're too drugged up. You know, because it used to be back in the day. Like what I like about music is like I like the bars, I like the precision of how do you rhyme this and how did you deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I used to love about the mixtapes.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
now
I used to
it's
sell mixtapes.
boom, there you go, straight
I
from
used
the
to sell
truck.
mixtapes in high school. Yep. But you right though. Now I will say this: is nothing wrong with club music. If you're in that scene or whatever, and because I used to listen to Lil Jon, and it was just like there's nothing lyrical about my boy Lil Jon, or Lil Scrappy or whatever the case may be. Pastor Pro had bars. Pastor Pro had bars. But like if you're in the club and you want to shake your dreads, crime on come, you know what I mean? Like it's cool, but they still have some lyrics, they still have bars, they still have some bars. But it's mostly to get you crunk, get you in a certain mood. I understand that. But I was not going around saying that Lil Jon, Lil J from Crime Mob Scrappy was the go to rap. I was not going around saying that. Like it just that doesn't make sense to me. Like, okay,
That sounds fair though.
young boy gets you hype. He gets you in the mood and everything. But to say that he's the GOAT of rap is crazy to me. And that's just my opinion. That's crazy to me. Like saying that you like his music is one thing, but going around putting him on a lyrical level, nah. And then they'll start saying they give him like, okay, give me a bar. Give me a bar you like, oh. And it's 9 times out of 10, it got something to do with killing somebody. Killing somebody, or how he killed somebody, or how he was drugged up and about to kill somebody, or some hard ops. He got his ops cornered or some shit. And I'm like, bro, that's it. Okay, that's what you don't live that life though.
That's not me, but that's not like it's so crazy because it used to be something like poetry to talk about. If you're not somebody, it's like Nas, right? Nas, he's a
Mm,
poet. He talks about what what's in the streets.
yeah,
And
yeah.
now you have people that are not in the street talking about in the street, acting like they're living in the streets, and it's all
Mm-hmm.
about the streets.
Mm-hmm. It's an industry world. I tell you right now, it's an industry world. I mean, you got things that I was like, well, oh, that person definitely a plant. I'm like, okay, they a plant. What you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? Like, what you
Hmm.
gonna stop listening to music? What's gonna be? You know. And I, for the 9 times out of 10, they still listen to music. Still because it's catchy or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And then don't let TikTok get a hold of it. It's gonna be in your head forever.
Yeah, man. I don't. I rarely listen to music now, man. And the music I've been listening to is it's country because I host a country radio station show
Okay.
on Audilus, and
Yeah.
everything's just country.
Yeah.
you know,
the
everything's
only
just country.
I only listen to what's it, Sam Smith, the country singer. Sam. It's not Sam Cooke, 'cause that's a singer. I forgot what was out there, but he got the ecstasy, the ecstasy song. So you want your ecstasy, ecstasy. I thought, oh, that shit, that was him.
so so let me ask you. I see you got an awesome Black Panther shirt on.
Mm.
What do you think they're doing with that arc?
Uh, they already. I think they're gonna age them up a little bit because spoiler warning if you haven't seen Wakanda Forever. Uh, they introduced his son, out of nowhere. And then when I went to the movies and see it, before she even brought him out, I said, "Don't tell me she about to bring his son out." And everybody was like, "Yo, shush, hush, hush." And then she did it. Somebody said, "You must have already seen the movie." I said, "No, because that shit was predictable." Like, come
Hmm.
on now. But anyway, they gonna. I feel like they're gonna age him up to at least teenage, and he's gonna have his whole thing where he's got a. They don't. They not. I don't feel like they're gonna give Shuri any type of time of being the new Black Panther at all. Um, I feel like it's not like she did a terrible job either, but I just don't think that's the road they're trying to go for. Uh, I think they're gonna age him up. He's gonna have to go through his whole learning pains of being like Simba, of being the prince that's crowned king at a young
See,
age.
but that's people give me a lot of crap because when I watch the first Black Panther and don't get me wrong, it's a good movie, but I feel like I was watching The Lion King. That moment, that moment when he walks in and they see his dad and the ancestors, like this is live action Lion King.
Yeah, yeah. It's Lion King has been adopted in the black community as a black movie, so that makes sense. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be Lion King 2.0, Black Panther 3. He's gonna be young, but it's gonna be Simba, whatever, or whoever Simba's son name was, I forgot what it was, or his daughter. Um, and I feel like he's gonna have to go through the challenges of actually being accepted because he wasn't raised in Wakanda.
Yeah,
Um, until later, he's got to go through the troubles of maybe M'Baku. Well, I don't know. I feel like M'Baku will take him under his wing. I hope that's the route they go. Like
yeah,
M'Baku
yeah.
takes him under his wing or whatever, because he was such a rival to T'Challa. And he's
Hmm.
like, well, the best thing I can do is raise his son.
Yeah.
And da, da, da. Maybe they even do something where like Daniel Kaluuya character comes back from, because they said they name dropped him in Wakanda Forever, saying that he's in jail. So maybe he comes out trying to make like lead a uprising against what he would think of as a false king. um, I think that would be dope. What I really wanted in Wakanda Forever, especially with the name, for it to actually be Wakanda. You get what I'm saying? Like I
Mm-hmm.
wanted it to be a Wakanda conflict. We had the outsider come in the first one. They was barely in Wakanda except for the final fight. And this one, they was in Wakanda, but it was a war zone the whole time, basically. And then they took the final fight in the middle of the sea, which I thought was dumb as hell. But they took the fight in the middle of the sea. The fight, is it Nenar?
Yeah.
I'm saying it right. Okay, Nenar. Um, and it was a cool fight. It is what it is. I'm not a big fan of Wakanda Forever. Like
I'm highly disappointed. I'm highly
yeah,
disappointed, and
yeah.
not, and I'm listen. I'm Latino. I get it. Latino rise, whatever. I don't. It still hasn't occurred to me, and we're like, they make it about Wakanda or make it about their community.
Exactly.
Their area. Like
Exactly.
you watch glimpse in like the Avengers. What do you call
Mm-hmm.
it? the End Game and the one
in
before that,
Infinity War when they came
Infinity
in.
Wars.
Yeah,
You watch glimpse of that, but it's like you're not giving nothing. Like I don't see Black Panther within the community doing,
yeah, yeah. It's like you see more of Nanar doing the stuff in Atlantis, like how his people react to him and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, Wakanda Forever, I really felt like they shouldn't even have Nanar as the main villain. I think it should have been an internal conflict,
Mm-hmm.
especially what happened to Chadwick. Rest in peace, Chadwick. It should have
Yeah.
been an internal conflict of who was going to be king, what was going to be this, how we was going to get Black Panther back, which they did, but they did it in a way of like we had to kill the queen for it. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like we
Which
already
I
had
feel like
that
that was
deal.
horrible. But
Oh
I
my
feel
god!
like that had no reasoning to happen.
Listen, you already hit us with another funeral in the opening scenes, right? So we already stemming from
Of
that
your main character.
of your main character of a real life person.
Yes.
An hour into it, you get rid of the most beloved person on screen. I love Angela Bassett. That's Queen. Like that is my girl. Marie Laveau in American Horror Story, Coven, and just five and all the way up to Apocalypse when she
That's
came in
Tina
her
Turner.
cameo.
That's Tina Turner.
Tina Turner, fucking Wayne Taylor's Hell, like that's Angela Bassett is what is a godmother? That's what they call it, Queen Mother, Queen Mother. You kill her. Oh no, you done fucked up now. Now I don't even want to watch the movie no more.
Yeah,
Like you
man.
done took all the emotion out of the movie. Like this woman just lost her husband. Like just like at character aspect, she lost her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Then she turned around and lost her son. And then her daughter was kidnapped. And then
Yeah.
you blow her up in the fucking. Then you just blow her up for no damn reason.
Oh man. I feel like the Marvel cinematic universe, in my opinion, I feel like it's going is at a critical point because all the like if you look at the comics, right?
Uh-huh.
This is why I become a DC fan because when it comes to DC Marvel comics, they don't have good storylines. They just don't.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the only reason they've been able to beat DC numerous times, one, they market better than DC. Two, because even in the comics, uh, back in the day, they made it more cheaper and accessible for the public to consume it than DC
Ooh,
did.
okay.
Two, they're focused more on building something rather than Warner Brothers. It's cha-ching all the way to
Yeah.
the bank.
Yeah.
But story wise, they suck. And you had all your amazing
It's
Captain
generic.
America, character, all your amazing people, they're already gone. They gave you 10 years of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Now who's left? And all your
Mm-hmm.
best characters are rated R. Punisher is rated R. Daredevil,
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Netflix. They did an incredible job. Uh,
And you heard what happened with them recently?
what happened?
He got rid of Kevin Feige. Saw because you know they put on new Daredevil and Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the screenings of what they had already did, hated it. Got rid of all the writers, got rid of because what they was doing was all the showrunners were movie execs and stuff like that. So he got rid of all the other writers and brought in actually TV show people like how he did in Netflix and stuff like that.
And I
So
would partner up with
hopefully,
Netflix and get it done through the people.
yeah. So the idea is the last few TV series that they didn't do well because of the movie. They try to run like a movie series or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. The idea is to bring it back into a TV serialization thing by
Mm-hmm.
bringing in TV showrunners, bringing in TV writers and stuff like that, and TV editors. So hopefully they'll get back into that Netflix s thing because I like Jessica Jones. I like
Yes, but those are dark
Daredevil. The
characters.
only one I didn't really like was Iron Fist, but
Ah, man. Let's not talk about that.
I
And not even because Luke Cage,
didn't like
I,
season two of Luke Cage, but season one was fire.
yes, season two, I didn't, nah.
Yeah,
Um, but because they made it from the new comics. He's based
yeah,
off the new comics, which is
mm,
not a big fan. But those shows, first of all those heroes are rated R heroes.
yep,
You
yep.
know, they're not like how do you tell Jessica Jones' story on Disney Plus and make it
Mm,
light?
yeah,
You
because her
know,
whole thing is abuse. Her whole thing is sexual
You got what
abuse.
I'm
So it's
saying?
like, shit, you gonna nerf her down, and then you're gonna have a lot of people pissed off because he's like, she's not gonna be able to tell her story. You're not gonna be able to tell her story in a way where it impacts people. It's like it's like you telling a survivor, well, we can't really tell your story the way you want us to
Mm-hmm.
tell it, so we're just gonna say that you were kidnapped for a few years. You know, we're not gonna go into detail of what
Yeah, yeah.
actually happened to you. And it's like, what the fuck?
I feel like the only show that stood up, in my opinion, that stood up to the movies was the Winter Soldier and the new Captain America, because it
Okay,
was action. Everything was action. Like you're watching the second. Is it the second one? Yeah, Winter Soldier. Yeah,
with
the
the soldier,
second.
yeah,
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 it was all action and like they both have good chemistry. Um,
yeah.
and then
Anthony Mackie and
yeah, and
no, his yeah.
that last speech where he gave when he's like, "I'm carrying the red, white, and blue, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
That was a necessary speech that to end that series with,
Yeah.
in my opinion. That was the only I really feel like was like valuable. Everything else is just even She-Hulk. Like the only thing they got, the only thing that they was mimicked to She-Hulk to the comics is that she was a little hoochie mama.
And
That was the
she
only
broke the
thing.
fourth wall and everything. Yeah, and the Tatiana, I want to say that's her name, the main actress. She is phenomenal. Like she
Yeah.
is a great actress. If you ever see Orphan Black, you know she can act her ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they nerfed her a little bit in it. They
Yeah.
definitely told her to like. I don't know what the director told her, or maybe she went in with a different interpretation of the character, or whatever the case may be. But it felt like she couldn't really give it her all because of like limitations or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it be. And the comedy, they wanted to be like a action packed rom com type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really not the biggest rom com fan. Well, I watch rom coms, but I'm not like okay, I'm not really want to watch it right now at the moment. So I had to like, I'm a strong believer of your mood affects how you consume
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
So if I went into it with like, okay, I just want to watch some action pack. Like my first time viewing it, I was like, okay, I'm thinking it's She-Hulk. We're gonna get a little story. She's gonna fuck some shit up, and we're gonna go about it. Go into the next episode. It wasn't like that. It was very talking. It was very comedy-esque. It was very goofy and silly and shit. And I'm just like, this ain't for me. This ain't what I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, nah, this shit trash. And and then I had to realize like it's not. It might not have been directed towards me.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be directed.
Yeah.
This was definitely their attempt to get the female audience more involved with MCU
Yeah.
without
The
without
fee
having the man
yeah. The
termination.
female audience want badass. They want
Yeah,
strong badass. And it had that, but yes, it was missing. Like it's hard to tell her story because she doesn't have good villains. You have to
right.
have a character to like.
Okay.
It's like Batman. Like the only thing he got money, but what
Yeah.
makes him great and a great detective is his villains.
Mm-hmm.
What he's able
Yeah.
to think and consume, and how he goes about certain situations. That's what makes him great.
Prep time.
And then you have stories like Daredevil. Daredevil, it wasn't good when Ben Affleck did it, not just because of the dancing was unnecessary, but you need those stories to be developed in order
Yeah.
for you can fall
Yeah.
in love with them. If they're not developed right, like it's pointless. You're gonna fail.
I mean, the way they did Daredevil, even in that opening scene of the hallway, and it
Ah,
was just like, oh shit, what the fuck going on? And you see him actually like struggling a little bit, but still
mm-hmm,
kicking ass. It was like, oh, you into some real shit. You get into some real shit. Like, it's not gonna be nothing to fuck around. Where my biggest issue when it comes to certain types of heroes that have that uh human qualities or whatever,
mm-hmm,
is sometimes they just feel a little OP. And I'm like, y'all don't have power, so how are you
yeah,
OP? Like, I don't get that. So like the Batman that came out not too long ago, I am not a big fan of it because they turned in the big opening scene. They showed that he was like in the opening fight scene. They showed that he was kind of human. He took a slug to the chest. He dropped down to his knees. He has to regain himself.
Mm-hmm.
Da, da, da. But by the end of the movie, this man is taking shotgun blasts to the stomach. He's getting like electrocuted. He's walking through AR-15 bullets and stuff. I'm just like, did he change armors or something? Like, what the fuck happened?
See,
Like, did
I
I miss
have
something?
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you with that. The only thing I really loved about the Batman
Mhm.
is that they told a story about like, damn, I had it. They told a story. It wasn't that they killed the parents. They told a story about Falcone
Yeah,
and
yeah,
why.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
that's a different story that hasn't been told.
Hmm.
And that's what because when Pete or Robinson Pete and or whatever his name is became Batman, I was like, damn, they're
Had to
really
say,
turning they're really
yeah.
turning this they're really turning him into a fucking vampire now.
Emo. He's emo
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah. But because it's a long movie, when I finally watched
Hmm.
like where they were going with the story, that's what I liked about it. It's
Yeah.
a different
And
story.
and listen, the slow burn in the beginning, like the first, right before they did, right after Penguin scene, and they went to the orphanage or whatever, I was gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I was gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I leaned over to my wife when they was doing the what scene that was. I forgot what it was. When they was doing the going back and forth the Riddler trying to find his thing, I
Hmm.
was it is fucking good. Like it's not action packed, it's not explosions. It's literally Batman being growing into being the world's greatest detective,
Yes.
doing what he's doing, trying to find clues, staying in the shadows. He's not unstoppable, whatever the case may be. I mean, he's a badass. He can snatch people up. This and that. It gave me like Michael Keaton's first Batman,
Yes.
Tim Burton's first Batman, and I was like, this is fucking good. It's intense. I don't know who the fuck the Riddler is. I don't know when he's gonna snatch somebody. They put the collar on the man's neck, and I was like, this is good. And then they had the car chase scene. I was like, okay, this is cool. And then they started doing the shoot 'em up at the end, and so I was like, no, they kind of ruined it a little bit, man. I don't mind some shootouts or whatever, but like I said, him walking through three people shooting him with AR-15s, and it's just the flashing of lights, and he just taking the bullets and he knocking them out, and so I was just like, okay.
I don't want to see I want to see new villains. Like I want to see
Mhm.
Scarface.
Yeah.
How would that be portrayed? I want to see Clayface. I
Oh
want
man.
you know what story that I think will be beautiful in
Was it?
that environment of the Batman, Victor Freeze's story.
Yeah.
Like and
And that's
not
who's supposed to be in the
yeah,
picture.
and I'm not
Yeah.
talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger type of shit, you know?
What kills the dinosaurs?
You
The
know,
ice age.
a
Like, oh the
really a
fuck.
really good dialogue,
Yeah. Because Mr.
type.
Freeze was so intelligent. He's so intelligent. Like he's
Yeah.
a
He didn't pick
he
shit up and put it down.
no. And then they and for Robert Schumacher to cast Arnold Schwarzenegger, I was just like, did y'all have a certain demographic y'all trying to reach or something? Like what the
Nah,
like I wanted
that
to,
was the 90s, bro. I was just like,
Arnold Schwarzenegger was everywhere though, so that's
yeah, it was just trying to sell merch and
yeah,
toys. You
yeah.
had bat
That's a
cars, you
fact.
had bat,
That's a fact.
but a
So many
good,
toys, bro. So many toys.
yeah.
And I couldn't get none of them. My
I hear
mom was like,
that.
I
Same
can
here,
buy
man. So I'm really looking forward to that to see but I want to see something more. I don't want to
yeah,
see the same. I don't want to see a Joker. It's always the fucking Joker. Like I don't want to
yeah.
see. I'm tired. Through my generation, I've seen like 4 or 5 already.
And then they teased him at the end of it. I was just like, oh
Hmm.
my
Yeah, yeah.
God.
I can't.
Oh my God.
It's
But yeah,
I need something new.
yeah. I need bring in Calendar Man, bring in fucking
Yes, yes.
the long night, bringing Phantasm, whatever, the Phantom
Yeah,
dude,
the
bringing Red
Phantom. Yeah,
Hood. You know what I mean? I mean, even though they didn't, I mean, you already teased that Robin got killed by the Joker. When damn, that's DCU. DCU had already teased that they killed that they could have brought in Red Hood. You know what I mean? That
yeah.
shit would have been fire. Uh, it is what it is, though.
You
So
got
many
you got
possibilities. They
you
just so
got
stuck on.
you got what you got Calendar Man. You got the Great White Shark, who's another villain. Um,
Mhm.
God, you got so many. You got so many. Like,
Yeah, you mean and I I don't think they canceled uh the dude that played the Penguin, Colin Farrell. I don't think they canceled Colin Farrell's Penguin show yet. So and he did a great job on it. I didn't
oh,
even know,
super
like, if they
dope.
didn't tell me that was Colin Farrell, I would
He did
yeah,
a great job there. I
yeah.
mean, but it's it's WB Warner Brothers. So
Yeah.
I learned not to get my hopes up. I just
Hmm.
try to enjoy their animated collection.
Oh yeah,
Great
for sure.
stuff. I think I've almost
Constantine, Dark Justice, yeah.
I think I've almost seen everything.
Almost, yeah. Same here. Same here. Like I know I take a time to look at a couple of those movies and everything just to be like, okay, hey, y'all, check out this one right here because god damn it, it was fire. You know, yeah, that me, I'm just trying to watch as much stuff as possible and bring the reviews to everybody and see how things go.
I hear
That's
that. So, last question before we go. What's next for you? What are you cooking up? What can we wait from you?
uh Next up, I have a talk. I've been talking with a couple of networks, some couple of movie screeners. Um, I got can't really talk about it. That's on the contract.
All right. Well,
I got some contracts. I got some contracts
all right.
coming. I got some anime. So I'm working on a most annoying anime characters, most like the strongest dads and stuff like that, or just family members. TV history, not just anime, like TV history stuff. Best villains. I did it before. Now people are really rocking with it, but I still like those villains. But I'm doing another one. And just more movies, man. Just my next venture is basically doing watch parties. Once I get my laptop set up and everything. So while I'm watching
Cool.
something, I'll be on stream, and people can come in and check me out, so like that. So that's a work in progress. That's something that I definitely got set up with my schedule and everything. But yeah, just more anime reviews, more TV shows and stuff. That's about it, man.
All right, boom. Can't wait. Can't wait. Before we go, tell the people where they can find you at.
You can find me at TikTok, Mr. Rogers Review. Also on Instagram, also Mr. Rogers Review. I'm also on Facebook at Rogers Review. YouTube is coming too. YouTube channel is coming up too. I'm gonna do like a skit a week type thing. Like every Wednesday, I drop a skit on. That's Mr. Rogers Review with a zero for Rogers. Mr. Rogers Zero Review. On YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel there. And yeah, man, that's where you can find me at. You can find me on Twitter too, or X. You can find me on X, Mr. Rogers. I think I'm actually Chair Jutsu Master on X.
Boom. There
Yeah.
you have it, guys. Mr. Rogers, thank you for joining, man. We got to do this again because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me.
No
Make sure
problem.
you go follow me on Instagram, Mr. Tame. Go like and subscribe our YouTube channel, DIOTALK TV. I'm out, guys. Have a good night.